Imagine a time when a single silhouette on a dusty horizon could command the attention of millions. A tall figure steps forward, hat low, shoulders steady, walking with a calm confidence that suggests he has faced danger many times before. The wind moves across the empty land, and before a word is spoken, you already know who he is. That unmistakable presence belonged to John Wayne, a man whose image became inseparable from the myth and spirit of the American West. For decades, audiences around the world watched him ride across wide landscapes, defend the weak, and confront villains with a quiet determination that felt larger than the movies themselves. Yet the story of John Wayne's legacy goes far beyond the characters he played. It is the story of how one actor came to symbolize courage, independence, and a deep sense of honor that defined an entire era of Hollywood. Long before he became one of the most recognizable faces in cinema history, Wayne was simply Marion Robert Morrison, a young man from Iowa who grew up in Southern California. Life did not begin with the glamour of movie studios or red carpets. Instead, his early years were shaped by hard work, modest expectations, and a determination to find his place in a rapidly changing world. Fate quietly opened the door to Hollywood when he found work as a prop boy and extra on film sets during the late 1920s. At the time, no one could have predicted that this tall, quiet young man would eventually become the defining image of the Western hero. His early acting roles were small and often unnoticed, and success did not come overnight. In fact, Wayne spent years appearing in minor productions before finally receiving a breakthrough opportunity in the 1939 film Stagecoach. The movie changed everything. Directed by John Ford, Stagecoach introduced audiences to a new kind of Western star. Wayne's portrayal of the outlaw Ringo Kid carried a mixture of toughness and moral conviction that audiences immediately connected with. From that moment forward, the image of the Western hero began to evolve, and John Wayne stood at the center of that transformation. Throughout the 1940s, 1950s, and 1960s, Wayne appeared in a long line of films that shaped the identity of the Western genre. In Rio Bravo, he portrayed a determined sheriff standing against overwhelming odds to protect his town. In The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, he explored the deeper tension between legend and truth in the American frontier story. These films were not simply tales of gunfights and frontier justice. They were stories about loyalty, responsibility, and the difficult choices faced by men who believed in defending their communities. Wayne's performances carried a sense of authenticity that made audiences believe in those characters. His slow, confident walk, his steady voice, and the quiet intensity in his eyes created a screen presence that few actors could match. Even when he spoke very little, his presence alone could dominate an entire scene. Directors understood this power and often framed him against sweeping landscapes that seemed to mirror the strength and solitude of his characters. Yet behind that powerful image was a man deeply committed to his craft. Wayne worked tirelessly throughout his career, appearing in more than 150 films across several decades. He collaborated with legendary directors and helped shape some of the most memorable westerns ever produced. While many actors adapted to changing trends by abandoning the genre that made them famous, Wayne remained closely tied to the Western tradition. He believed those stories represented something important about perseverance, justice, and the human struggle to build a better future in difficult circumstances. Even as Hollywood evolved and new filmmaking styles emerged, Wayne's films continued to resonate with audiences who appreciated the timeless themes woven into those stories. When John Wayne passed away in 1979, the world lost more than a movie star. It lost a symbol of an era when cinematic heroes were defined not only by strength, but also by a clear moral compass. Yet legends rarely disappear completely. Decades later, new generations continue to discover his films and experience the atmosphere of those classic Western landscapes. The dusty towns, the tense standoffs at high noon, and the quiet moments of reflection between battles all carry the unmistakable spirit of John Wayne. His influence can still be seen in modern Westerns and in countless actors who attempt to capture the same commanding presence that he brought to the screen. In the end, the legacy of John Wayne reminds us that great cinema is not only about thrilling action or dramatic adventure, it is about characters who stand for something meaningful, even when the path ahead is uncertain. Through every silent showdown, every determined stand against injustice, In every long ride across the frontier horizon, the legend continues to live on. Because some heroes exist only in stories, but others become part of cultural history itself. And in the world of Western cinema, few names carry the weight, the spirit, and the enduring power of John Wayne.